Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory 1.0. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I am having a fantastic day. We've unlocked a bunch of new stuff in the Awesome Shop, specifically beams, pillars, catwalks, ladders. Hello, Riley. My dog is he's chewing on his toy underneath my desk. I don't know if you can hear him or not. Anyway, so yeah, a bunch of sort of aesthetic stuff. I also went ahead and set up a steel factory, although it isn't actually operational yet. All I need to do is connect it to power. So, quick rundown on how this whole thing is set up. There are two pure coal nodes if you were to follow this pathway. They're kind of, I think there's one, I think they're both, up here-ish, somewhere around here. And then there are two pure iron nodes, one here and one here. I can remove these map markers now, that provide the iron. So altogether, that is 240 iron, which is going to feed into the system. However, each of those is overclocked. Each of those miners is overclocked to 180. So that is a total of 300... each of those miners is overclocked. Wait a minute. Yeah, they're the math works out, okay? It's 120. They're overclocked to 150%. So each of the miners is 180 for a total of 360 coal and 360 iron. Steel works essentially in multiples of 45. So for every 90 coal, you can run, 90 coal and 90 iron, you can run two foundries, and this is a machine that combines various things and makes, in this case, iron ore and coal to make steel ingots. Later on, we'll unlock other recipes for it, but for now, it's iron and coal to make steel. You can run two foundries for every 90 of each resource you have. So that's how it's set up. Now, the thing is, at the moment, we do not have Mark III belts. So we can only transport 120 of a given resource per belt line. But the plan is to set this up for when we get Mark III belts, because that will be very, very soon, so that when we unlock those, all I have to do is go and swap out a couple of the belts for Mark III. So yeah, all we need to do is hook this thing up to power, and it should start running. So for now, let's go... I'd actually like that to be on the outside of the building, if possible. Let's see, it would be here. And then have it come and connect... let's say right here. And then it will run all the way to over there, and you are at capacity. Okay, it's fine. You know what? I believe... I'm trying to remember. I think... I learned a new thing just a little while ago. Here we go, wall outlet. I believe if I grab this and I put it on this power line, yeah, you can make a new connection, which is kind of cool. Where can I actually hook this up? That's the real question. Quiet, Riley. Where do I have an open spot? This one is only connected to 3 things. Okay, that'll work. So, we need to bring you this way instead. Bring you to right here. There we go, and boom. Now everything will be up and running, and we will be making a bunch of steel ingots, which will then be turned into steel beams. We're going to be making a total of 60 steel beams per minute between these 4 constructors, and then steel pipes. We will be making, I believe, 80 steel pipes per minute altogether. And they will flow into these 2 storage containers right here. I think I'm actually going to make this one look like an actual factory. Like, we're getting to the point now where I'm actually unlocking some awesome shop stuff. So I've got a couple more things I actually want to unlock, but I think this is probably going to be the first build that we're actually going to make into a build. I'm going to actually try and make it look semi-nice. Once I have just a couple more awesome shop unlocks that I need to take care of. But all in all, this is good, and this will get us our pipes and our beams, which are used for a ton of new technologies. So I'm going to let this thing run for a while so that I can collect enough beams. I'll get the belts upgraded, the ones coming from the miners, so that this thing can actually run at full capacity. Because right now I'm wasting a little bit. But yeah, we're making progress. Well, my friends, we have a little bit of a problem. My power grid just blew. I've got it back up and running right now, but I had to disconnect basically our rotor and our the frames, machine frame, these things, modular frame. I had to disconnect our rotor and modular frame production. We have too many machines and not enough power, and I've already added a few biofuel generators. I don't think we can get too many more at this point. So, yeah. We have, however, unlocked coal power. So I think what we should do is just set up some coal power plants. If we look, right now our total max production is 600 megawatts. One singular coal power plant will produce 125, I believe. Or maybe it's 75? 75. So we can get a pretty significant upgrade to our power grid if we make some coal plants. So I think that's going to be the next thing on the agenda. All right, my friends, bit of a progress update. We have our coal generators laid out. This is a total of 24, I believe. 24, 12 in each row. There is a pure coal node here and a normal coal node here. These are both tier 2 miners. So altogether, this is going to be 360 coal, which is enough for all of the 24 generators here. However, these are not yet hooked up to water. To generate power with a coal generator, you need water and you need coal. So we're going to have to make a whole bunch of water pumps, which are under production down here, water extractors. We're going to need to make a bunch of these. I don't know exactly how many. There's a couple different ways you can do it. You can do 3 water extractors for every 8 coal generators, or you can do 4 water extractors for every 8 and then underclock them. So there's some options here. I think I'm going to go with the 2-to-1 ratio of generators to extractors, just because it'll end up looking nicer. Because if I do 8, I suppose I could divide it up into tiles like this or something. I don't know. I'll play around with it and figure it out. But I got to get all that stuff set up. And then getting this thing initially started is going to be a bit of a hassle too, because water extractors require 20 megawatts of power. For comparison, a biomass generator generates 30 megawatts of power. So we're going to need a bunch of biomass generators just to get this thing started. Plus, obviously, the miners require power as well. What does a tier 2 miner require? 15. So we're going to need one biomass generator just for the miners, and then a bunch for all the extractors and stuff. But once this thing actually gets going, it's going to generate quite a lot of power for us. I think we'll be roughly doubling, well, actually tripling how much power we currently have, because I think right now we're generating like 600-ish, and I think this generates about 1,300 altogether. Easy way to find out. If you didn't know, there is actually a calculator built into the game. You hit N to bring up the search bar, and you can just see, okay, 1,800. So we're actually going to be like quadrupling our total power capacity. So that'll be great. But anyway, I'm going to get back to it. Well, my friend, the coal power plant is up and running. We're doing good. We are now generating approximately 1,700 megawatts per minute. Or maybe it's per second. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter. We've got enough power for a while now, so that's great. Fluids in this game are a little finicky, so if you look carefully, you'll notice this generator and this generator are not currently running. This one's going now, and now it's shut back off. Fluids in this game, I'll tell you, they're so... nah. They're just really finicky and annoying sometimes. But let me show you how I got this set up as far as the fluids and stuff goes. So we got all of our coal going in. This is all fine. But down here, this is what all the setups are. And they're all identical, which is why it makes no sense that some of these generators are not working, but the others all are. That's what I mean when I say fluids are finicky. So basically, we have 2 water pumps going into a merged pipe, and then they do need a pump because fluids have like a vertical height that they can travel, and since we're down here and the coal generators are all up there, we need to raise that amount. So I do need a pump for each of these little modules, I guess you would say. But then 2 of these generators are powering 4, or 2 of these water extractors are powering 4 coal generators, and they're just running up here through the floor, which keeps everything nice and clean and makes the belts and all that kind of stuff super easy. But yeah, that's how this is all working. And then power-wise, we're just belting all of the coal into those coal generators and making lots of power. So now we should be good. So this power plant by itself, it is self-sufficient power-wise. It is generating, there we go, 1,800 megawatts. Briefly, that's what we should be getting, and that's what we will get eventually. The fluids, they'll catch up. I am not underclocking the water pumps because, as I said, fluids are finicky, so I would rather produce more water than not enough. It's okay if we have a little bit of extra, because in the grand scheme of things, it's like an extra, 10 megawatts per thing. There are a grand total of 12, so it's 120 megawatts total by not underclocking them. That's really not that much. That's the equivalent of 1 single coal generator. So, whatever. But yeah, that's the coal power setup. Now, it is not currently connected to everything else we've built. It's kind of off on its own at the moment. So we're going to do something about that. We're just going to take this power line here and run it all the way back to our base and power all of the things. So I've been doing a bunch of exploring, looking for hard drives to unlock new recipes and uncovering more of the map and all that kind of stuff. And I was over here. This is where our base is. I'm about halfway across the map, probably 2/3 of the way to the other side of the map. And I found an enemy, one of the little hog guys, and he had some rockets on his back, and I didn't know what it was at the time, so I killed the enemy. Turns out it was a jetpack. So I have a jetpack now, which is pretty cool. I guess it takes fuel. It looks like it can actually be biofuel. So can I just yo, I can just hold space and I can fly. Oh, this is going to make exploring so much easier. That's amazing, because the jetpack is not normally something we would have at this point in the game. It's something you unlock later, so that's awesome. I'm still just chipping away at all of these recipes and unlocks in the MAM. Hard drives still going. I've got 6 more right now. I've been doing tons of exploring, as you can kind of see in the map. But one big benefit of going out into the world and exploring is that you'll find a lot of resources that you don't currently have the ability to make yourself. So we can unlock, for example, geothermal generators, even though I don't have really a good way to make high-speed connectors yet, because I don't have a way to make circuit boards. But I found enough circuit boards just by exploring and finding crash sites that we can do this. So let's go ahead and research geothermal generators. And these are pretty cool. They go on top of geysers and create power. It's just more power generation. So yeah, I'm going to go through, as you can see, I've already been really busy just going pretty hard at this MAM research to get as much of this as we possibly can. Also, all of the tier 3 and 4 technologies are fully researched now. So yeah, I'm just going at it, and if you're wondering where I'm getting the resources to unlock a lot of the stuff, it is from finding it out in the world, mostly at crash sites. This is all just from crash sites right here. I have gone ahead and finished up decorating and doing sort of the aesthetic side of the steel factory. And to be honest, I don't love it, but it is better than anything else we've built so far in this series. Still missing some pretty important various building components from the awesome shop before we can make stuff that really looks good, but that will all come in time. By the end of this series, we will have gorgeous, beautiful factories that will look amazing. Right now, we're not quite there yet. But this is what we have. It's a box, and I don't love that. But it'll do for now. We have a doorway that leads inside. There is a roof on it, and it's a lot of just windows and walls. We really need to unlock more wall textures and things like that, so that and foundation textures and stuff, so that we actually have more textures to play around with. Because like this foundation as a roof is not doing it for me. But it's, you know what? It's the first factory that is actually a building, so it's a step in the right direction. Now, the next very important thing for us to do, I need to design a factory that is going to make for us, well, a lot of things. Rotors, versatile framework, we need to make smart plating. Basically, we need to automate the stuff to make the space elevator parts, because at this point we actually have all of the current technologies and things researched that we can research. So in order to progress further into the game, we need 1,000 smart plating, 1,000 versatile framework, and 1,000 of the automated wiring down here. Or, I'm sorry, 100 of the automated wiring down here. And we have recipes, alternate recipes for some of them. But yeah, basically we're going to need a factory that makes rotors and stators and all sorts of things. And I think there's actually a perfect spot to set that up. And that is roughly right over here-ish on the map. This is actually where I set up my starter base in the first Satisfactory series that I did. And it is an amazing location. I still think it's probably the best starter base location in the whole game, because over here there are 2 pure copper nodes, I believe 4 pure iron nodes, and then a pure limestone node. And then there's also some coal nodes that are kind of like over here. So for a steel factory, which is what a lot of this is going to use, and we're also going to need copper, it's going to be a great spot. So I'm going to head over there, and I'm going to build the factory over there. I don't know yet what all's going to go into it and how big it's going to look, but it is going to be really important that we get this thing done so that we can actually progress further. All right, my friends, I am over here at the finished smart plating, versatile framework, and wiring thingy. What's it called again? Is it automated wiring? Versatile framework. Automated wiring. I'm here at the factory for those 3 things. It's all finished. We have a ton of assemblers up here. This production line, these 2 are making 10 versatile framework per minute. So not super fast, but I mean, well, when you see the rest of the factory, you'll see why it's only 10. And then this production line is making smart plating. I think we're making 16 of these per minute, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because we're making 2 per assembler, and we have 8 assemblers doing that. So those are going into these 2 storage units here. Also, this is the first factory where I am using smart splitters. So they will fill up these storage containers, but then once it's full, any overflow is going to be sent into an awesome sink and automatically turned into points for tickets. So basically, I actually have smart splitter overflow stuff set up for sinking stuff. So yeah, this is the top floor of the factory. There are, well, quite a lot. So this was a bit of an undertaking. So let's break it down. Over here, we have a pure copper node, and on the first floor down here, all of that copper is being turned into copper ingots. Then it's being transported up to the second floor, where it's all being turned into copper wire. Over here, we have 3 iron nodes. I did actually only need 2, I think, but I ended up hooking up 3. And there's actually a 4th pure iron node right here that's not being used, so we might actually be able to build some more stuff over here in the future. But first floor down here, this is all just smelters. That's all it is. We're just smelting tons and tons of iron ingots. Then when we take it up to the second floor, it is being combined with coal from over there to make steel, which is turned into steel pipes and steel beams, if you follow this sort of production line here. We're making steel pipes over here and steel beams over here. The iron ingots are being turned into iron plates and iron rods, and then the copper wire is being combined with all that. Oh, also we're taking some of the copper wire and making cables as well. And then once it goes up to the third floor, up here, we're taking some of the copper wire and the iron pipes, and we are making rotors. We're also making our automated wiring up here with stators that we're producing in one of these assemblers. I forget exactly which one. It might just be this one right here. Yeah, we're making stators right here because we don't need a ton of those. And then over here, we're making reinforced iron plates using the stitched iron plate alternate recipe. We're actually using a couple of different alternate recipes in this whole thing. But all in all, it's working out. We're making, I believe, 5 automated wiring per minute, because we only need 100 for the space elevator. And in fact, we're already there easily. We're making 10 of the versatile framework per minute, and we're making 16 of the smart plating per minute. So now all I need to do is let this thing run for a while, and we can take all of those resources and put them into the space elevator, which is way over in that direction. I kept running into power issues. It looks like our single 12 generator coal factor is having some problems keeping up. So I decided to throw down some geothermal generators. We've unlocked this technology, and a pure node, or a pure geyser, which is what you put these on top of, generates an average of about 400 megawatts. So I ended up doing 4 of them. There are 3, like, right here on the map, all in this little area. And then there's another one that's, like, right up here, which is really close to where we set up our factory to make all the automated wiring and smart plates and all that kind of stuff. So they were just kind of... This one was convenient and easy to get to, and this one I went with because there's 3 pure geysers, like, right next to each other. So all in all, that's an average of about an extra 1,600 megawatts. Now, the geysers don't produce consistent power. It fluctuates. But it averages out to about 400. They do anywhere between 200 and 600 megawatts per minute, hour, whatever it is, for the pure nodes. The lesser quality geysers will generate a lot less, but yeah, figured that was worth doing. It is renewable. I don't need to babysit it at all, and it's just extra power for our system. With that said, since the geysers don't generate consistent power, and we're definitely going to need a lot more power as soon as we get into the next phase, which is actually going to be very, very soon. I actually have the remaining resources we need in my inventory right now. I just need to go back to the space elevator and turn it in. I think I'm going to build a coal factory over here as well. This spot, in my opinion, is one of the better locations in the game for a coal factory because, like, right up here, there are 3 pure coal nodes, which means you have enough with tier 2 miners to power 48 coal generators, which is a lot of power. I think that comes out to like 3,600 megawatts. So that is effectively double what we can produce right now, even with the coal power we already have and the 4 geothermal generators that I just threw down. So yeah, I think I'm going to build a big giant coal power plant over here very, very soon. I did that in my first series as well, so I might just build it kind of off camera. It's not going to be anything fancy. It's just going to be a bunch of coal generators with water and coal piped into them. I don't know if I'm going to make it look good. But for now, I'm going to head back to the space elevator so we can turn in these parts. All right, my friends, we're back over here by the space elevator, and it is time to move on to the next phase. We just got to throw in our plates and this last set of frames, and that is everything. Phase 2 complete. So now we are going to unlock Tier 5 and 6 and move on to Phase 3. I would say at this point we're officially out of the early game.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 2 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 2 will be completed and the construction dock will be constructed. After completion of Phase 2, the technologies of Tiers 5 and 6 will become available in the hub.
Good stuff.
These might feel intimidating after your previous experience, but rest assured that you would not be here if you were entirely incompetent. Highlights are oil production, railway transportation, the jetpack, and many more. Completing Phase 3 of Project Assembly is your next main objective. Just remember to focus on producing and delivering the project parts, and Fixit's faith in you will be strengthened.
Okay. So, let's send it. Looks like we're actually going to need more versatile framework for the next phase as well, so I'm glad that we have that automated and being produced. But there we go. Phase 2 complete, baby. We are now on to Phase 3, and that's huge. There is some really good stuff in Tiers 5 and 6. Trains, huge. Absolutely huge.
Phase 2 of Project Assembly completed. You have been performing more adequately under pressure and are closer than ever to saving the day. Perhaps you were the right choice for the job. Time will tell. You will now enter Phase 3 of Project Assembly. Continue as you are, and there should be no issue. For humanity. For Fix-It.
Thank you, Ada. So yeah, as I said, new stuff that we have access to now. Obviously, we still need to unlock it, but trains, absolutely huge, because they will allow you to transport vast quantities of resources over great distances. So this is going to be amazing, because we can set up all these kind of like satellite factories throughout the world and then transport all the resources elsewhere. So that'll be huge. Logistics Mark IV for the next conveyor belt, 480 resources per minute. That's incredibly important as well. We have the jetpack, although we actually already kind of have the jetpack because we found one out in the world on an enemy. So this, I mean, the extra inventory space is nice, I guess. We have petroleum power, so we can go into oil generators, essentially. Although it's not just oil, they could do turbo fuel and a bunch of other stuff. Fluid packaging, oil processing, so we can get plastic and rubber. Like, there is so much good stuff here. Better pipes, larger blueprints. Like, there is, yeah, this is where it gets good. What do these modular engines require? It's not going to tell me until I actually turn this in. Okay, so step one, I think, will probably be oil processing for plastic and rubber, and then logistics, because you can see we need rubber to unlock this. Oil processing is kind of the first thing you need, because you need rubber and plastic to unlock a lot of this other, in fact, maybe almost all of this other stuff. Monorail actually doesn't. That one we could technically do right now. I'd have to make a bunch of industrial beams and motors, because we don't have those automated yet, but that one's technically doable. This one also technically doable, because we have a bunch of computers that we've found. But basically everything else requires plastic and rubber. So yeah, that is where we're at. We're on to Phase 3, and I think that is a great place to leave it off for today. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.